The silent expectations of a woman's heart. A man who walks the path of wisdom does not seek validation, he seeks understanding. He does not demand to be loved, he strives to be worthy of love. And in the quiet corners of every woman's heart, there exist unspoken desires, not for wealth, not for power, but for a man who embodies strength, virtue, and unwavering presence. In this modern world of distractions, where fleeting pleasures are mistaken for fulfillment, many men have forgotten the essence of true masculinity. It is not loud, it is not forceful, it does not seek control. True masculinity is rooted in discipline, in restraint, in the ability to lead without domination and to love without possession. Women do not always voice what they long for, but they feel it in the depth of their being. They seek a man who stands firm in his purpose, a man who listens with intent, who acts with integrity, and who knows that true strength lies not in arrogance, but in self-mastery. Today, we unveil 9 things that women secretly desire from men, but rarely speak aloud. These are not tricks, not strategies, not empty gestures of affection. They are the timeless qualities of a man who commands respect without demanding it, who earns devotion without pleading for it, and who walks through life as an unwavering force of calm amidst the storm. Let us step forward, not to impress but to understand, not to take but to give, not to conquer but to become. For in becoming better men, we do not just elevate ourselves, we elevate the world around us. To help you out, here are 9 simple things that actually drive women wild in a good way. So if you want to be that magnetic guy, it's all about mastering these proven techniques that women secretly find attractive. 1. Lead with strength, but love with gentleness. A man's strength is not measured by his dominance over others, but by his mastery over himself. True strength is not about force, it is about unwavering presence, about being the rock that remains steady in the face of chaos. A woman desires a man who can lead, not by control, but by example. She seeks a man who is decisive, who walks his path with conviction, and who stands firm in his values. But strength without gentleness is tyranny. Power without compassion breeds fear, not love. A man must understand that his ability to lead is not in his authority, but in his ability to provide safety, both physically and emotionally. A woman feels most secure with a man who does not waver in hardship, yet never allows his strength to turn cold. To lead with strength is to be unshaken by life's storms. To love with gentleness is to extend that strength in a way that nurtures rather than control. A man who masters this balance earns not only a woman's admiration, but her deepest trust. For the strongest man is not the one who conquers others, but the one who conquers himself, so that he may serve with wisdom, not with force. 2. Listen with presence, not just with ears. To truly listen is to give another person the rarest gift of all, your full presence. A woman does not simply want to be heard, she wants to be understood. She does not seek solutions to every problem, nor does she always need advice. More than anything, she wants to feel that her words matter, that her emotions are not dismissed, and that she is safe to express herself without judgment. A weak man listens absent-mindedly, waiting for his turn to speak. A strong man listens with patience, absorbing not just the words, but the emotion behind them. He does not rush to fix, he does not dismiss what he does not dismiss, 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 what he does not dismiss. He listens with the same presence he would give to the sound of the ocean, deeply, attentively, without resistance. To listen is to respect. To listen is to love. A man who masters this art becomes a refuge, a place of calm in a world that moves too fast. When a woman speaks, listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. For a man's presence in listening is far more powerful than any words he could ever say. 3. Be consistent. Your word must be iron. A man is only as strong as his word. In a world full of empty promises and fleeting commitments, a woman seeks a man whose actions align with his speech. A man whose word is not spoken carelessly, but carried out with unwavering consistency. Weak men speak in haste, saying what is convenient in the moment, but failing to follow through. They make promises to ease tension, to impress, or to buy time. But a true man of character understands that every word he speaks is a contract with himself. When he says he will do something, he does it, not because others demand it, but because his integrity demands it. Consistency builds trust, and trust is the foundation of love. A woman desires to feel safe in the reliability of a man, not just in grand gestures, but in the small, everyday moments. She watches how he treats his commitments, how he follows through on his intentions, and whether he stands firm when tested. A man whose word is iron does not need to convince others of his strength. His actions will speak for him, and in that quiet, steady reliability, he becomes the kind of man a woman can trust with her heart. 4. Show emotional depth without losing composure. A man of true strength is not one who suppresses his emotions, but one who understands and masters them. A woman does not seek a man who is cold and detached. She desires a man who can feel deeply, yet remain steady. A man who embraces his emotions without allowing them to control him. Weak men swing between two extremes. They either bottle up their feelings until they explode, or they let their emotions dictate their actions, losing themselves in anger, frustration, or despair. A strong man, however, does neither. He acknowledges his emotions, understands their roots, and chooses his response with wisdom. He does not let external circumstances shake his inner peace. When a woman sees a man who can express vulnerability without weakness, she sees someone she can trust, a man who can share his struggles without seeking pity, who can stand firm in his convictions without arrogance, who can love with passion without losing his sense of self. That is the man she respects. Emotional depth is not about dramatic displays, it is about authenticity. And a man who possesses this rare balance becomes not just a lover, but a source of strength and inspiration in a woman's life. 5. Protect without controlling. A true man protects, not by force, not by dominance, but by creating a space where a woman feels safe to be her truest self. Protection is not about ownership, it is about offering strength without demanding submission. It is about being a shield, not a cage. A weak man confuses control with protection. He tries to dictate, to restrict, to command under the illusion that he is keeping her safe. But a woman does not seek to be controlled. She seeks to be cherished, to know that the man beside her will stand firm when the world turns chaotic, not by limiting her freedom, but by ensuring that no harm comes to her spirit. To protect is to be present, to be aware, to stand ready without suffocating. It is the quiet assurance that if she falls, you will be there. If she struggles, you will support her. And if she needs to stand on her own, you will not hinder her, but encourage her strength. A man who protects without controlling shows a woman that she is valued, not possessed. And in that freedom, love flourishes, not out of fear, but out of deep, unwavering trust. 6. Pursue growth. A man must never become stagnant. A man who stops growing is a man who begins to wither. Strength is not found in what you have achieved, but in your relentless pursuit of becoming better, wiser, stronger, more disciplined. A woman does not seek perfection. She seeks a man who refuses to remain idle, who strives daily to improve himself, his mind, his body, and his soul. Weak men grow complacent. They settle into routines, clinging to past victories as if they are enough. But life demands movement, evolution, a constant sharpening of the mind and spirit. A man must challenge himself, not for the sake of proving his worth to others, but because growth is the essence of life itself. A woman admires a man who reads, who learns, who faces difficulties not with complaints, but with determination. She is drawn to a man who refuses to let his circumstances define him, who takes ownership of his life and seeks wisdom over comfort. To pursue growth is to honor the responsibility of being a man. For when a man becomes stagnant, he does not just lose himself, he loses the respect and admiration of those who look to him for strength. Keep moving forward, someone fades him for sex. 7. Make her feel seen and valued, not just desired. Desire fades, but deep connection endures. A woman does not want to be admired only for her beauty. She wants to be recognized for her mind, her spirit, her essence. She longs to be truly seen, beyond the surface, beyond fleeting attraction. A man who understands this builds something far greater than passion. He builds trust, respect, and devotion. Weak men focus only on the physical, offering compliments that are empty because they do not see beyond what is obvious. But a strong man observes the little things. The way her eyes light up when she speaks about her passions, the effort she puts into the things she cares about, the silent battles she fights every day. He acknowledges her strengths, supports her dreams, and values her thoughts as much as her presence. To make a woman feel seen is to show her that she is not just an object of affection, but a soul worth understanding. It is to love her not for how she looks today, but for who she is at her core. A man who does this earns more than love. He earns a loyalty that no fleeting attraction could ever replace. 8. Handle conflict with wisdom, not ego. Conflict is inevitable, but how a man responds to it defines his strength. A weak man allows his ego to dictate his reactions. He raises his voice, he blames, he seeks to win rather than to understand. But a strong man, a wise man, does not see conflict as a battlefield. He sees it as an opportunity to strengthen the bond, to navigate disagreement with patience and clarity. A woman does not expect perfection, nor does she seek a man who never disagrees with her. What she desires is a man who can remain composed when tensions rise, who listens before reacting, and who values resolution over being right. A man who controls his emotions, who does not let anger cloud his judgment, shows a rare kind of strength, the ability to lead even in moments of difficulty. Handling conflict with wisdom means setting aside pride, choosing words carefully, and approaching challenges with a calm, steady mind. A man who can do this creates an environment of trust where a woman feels safe to express herself without fear of hostility. And in that space of understanding, love deepens, not because there is no conflict, but because it is handled with grace. 9. Be a man of integrity even when no one is watching. A man's true character is revealed not in the presence of others, but in the solitude of his own choices. Integrity is not about appearances, it is about unwavering commitment to what is right. Even when there is no reward, no recognition, no one to impress. A woman does not just admire a man for what he does in public, she values who he is when the world is not looking. Weak men compromise their values when it is convenient. They mold their words to fit the situation, shifting their principles to serve their desires. But a strong man is constant. His honesty is not conditional, his loyalty is not negotiable, and his actions align with his beliefs. He does not deceive, manipulate, or betray because he understands that trust is fragile, and once broken, it rarely heals the same way. A woman finds true security in a man who does what is right, not because he has to, but because he refuses to be anything less. When a man's integrity is unshakable, his presence becomes a foundation, a source of trust that withstands the trials of life, and in that steadfastness, love flourishes. Not out of obligation, but out of deep, abiding respect. Become the man worthy of respect and love. A man's worth is not found in wealth, status, or fleeting charm. It is forged in the quiet strength of his character, in the discipline of his mind, and in the depth of his heart. Women may not always speak these desires aloud, but they feel them deeply. They long for a man who leads with strength but loves with gentleness. A man who listens with presence, stands by his word, and remains a source of steady protection without seeking control. A man who never stops growing, who sees and values a woman beyond the surface, and who navigates conflict with wisdom rather than ego. Above all, they seek a man whose integrity stands firm, even in the absence of an audience. Becoming this man is not about seeking approval. It is about becoming the kind of man who commands respect by the way he moves through life. Strength, wisdom, and love are not given. They are earned through daily choices, through discipline, through the mastery of self. Now, I ask you, what qualities do you believe define a truly strong man? Which of these principles resonate most with you? Share your thoughts below, and let's continue this journey of growth together.